What is up, diecast collectors? This is 9446 Network, finally back with the diecast review. And today, we are going to be looking at a Trackhouse Racing test car, which is going to be the number 99 K1 Speed Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 1LE. Now, notice that I did not bring up a driver name. Yeah, that's right, folks. This car is based on a test car that was put on the racetrack by Trackhouse Racing to be a test car for Daniel Suarez and Ross Chastain. So when you're going to pick this car up, remember that it is a test car. So this car could be for either one of the drivers. However, Daniel Suarez Ross Chastain actually ran this car at Phoenix with the number 1. So that's going to be an interesting car if it gets made. But Daniel Suarez and Ross Chastain did get to turn laps in this car at, I believe, Charlotte and maybe a couple other racetracks. I don't remember. I'm not going to announce what track it ran at if I don't remember what it is. But you guys can look it up. But this is the scheme that ran. This is the K1 Speed. And K1 Speed was actually supposed to have a car in 2021. It was canceled both in real life and for the diecast. And they finally got to sponsor a race with Ross Chastain, and of course this test car here for Daniel Suarez and Ross Chastain. We're just going to call this the Trackhouse Racing test car, and that makes 2 Trackhouse Racing test cars that have been released. You have the one in the Authentics line with the Trackhouse logos on it, and of course now you have this one. And who knows, there could be another one down the road, but I'm pretty sure this is going to do it for the test cars. And out of all the test cars, this one looks like the most reusable car, as it looks like, judging by the logos on this car, it could be a car that can be used for your diecast series for Daniel Suarez, which is definitely what I'm going to do, because I really like this paint scheme. So yeah, this car really could be ran as a Daniel Suarez diecast. So without further ado, let's get into the actual diecast itself. You got number 99, Trackhouse, K1 Speed, no name on it. Of course, you got no Sunoco logo either, so that's another sign of it being a test car. Goodyear NASCAR Cup Series number 99, Chevrolet, K1 Speed with a little nick mark on the P right there. As you can tell, you got a ComScope right there. K1 Speed, Trackhouse number 99, Camaro ZL1. Pretty interesting how large the Camaro actually is, and the logo, I should be saying. But these cars are going to be getting a whole different look next year, apparently. These cars, because NASCAR will be making adjustments to this next-gen car, and that means that these cars are going to have a slightly different look in the front, the back, and on the hood. So that is going to be a lot of work, not only for the diecast collectors, but for the actual developers in Lino Racing, which is going to be a hassle for them. So hopefully they can work on them when they get the chance. Got K1 Speed right there, number 99. And for the diecast itself, it is a matte finish. It's another one of these diecasts that's on my favorites list for the very reason that, look at it, it's spray painted matte black. The side skirts underneath kind of look glossy on this side. I don't know if that's like a wrap issue, but this car is matte. When you look at it over top, that's when it goes back to normal paint. It's a matte. And of course, you're going to look at it, you're going to have some interesting gradiences on it. And one thing I'm noticing about the bumper here is that I don't think this is a defect. I think that's actually how the car was. You see this little bumper line right here. So you guys know when they put these bumpers on these cars, this is all a separate piece almost. You can kind of see like a decal line right here and right here. So the gradients doesn't go all the way around. It's almost like it's a different texture for the bumper. You guys can probably see. But it's got the red gradients, so it doesn't go over the splitter. It goes on top of it, but not over it. But it's on top of the splitter. You got red, and it just fades into the gradient pattern across the front, and it stops at that little decal line right there. And the hood itself, as you can tell, it's got the pretty much the shape of the hood, the Camaro nose. And it has the gradients with 2 stripes right there. You can see those 2 stripes start out up top. You got 2 other stripes inside. And 3 more in the middle. They're gradient and they're really faded into the design. But that's part of the design technique. There's a lot of gradients to this car. And of course you can see the stripes continuing over to the end of the hood right there. Pretty cool decal. I actually like it. And the hood vents are actually where they're supposed to be, as well as the ZL1s. They're actually printed on top of the logos, which is actually how it's supposed to be like. And we're going to get to the sides of this car, and as far as I can tell, that both of the sides are the same. But we're going to get a closer look at it. You have the rear quarter window outlined to it, as you can tell. It is outlined in white. And you are going to see, when we get closer, the more and more gradient this is going to get. Now, for the numbers, the white outline, the black shadow, another thin black outline, little Trackhouse swoosh in the red outline, or the red number fill-in, I should say, for the roof, and the white number fill-in for the sides, and has a red outline and a black shadow, and a thin black outline with the black slash on the side. Now, the K1 Speed. Now, I always knew that K1 Speed with their black and red, their red, black, and white colors could put out a great NASCAR paint scheme, and they did it. Check this out, guys. You have all across this car gradients, so you got the stripes on the side, as you can tell. There's some faded stripes in there that you can tell are there if you look closely at it. You got some gradient fades across the side, and of course, you got some guitar strings going across from the top right here of the top right-hand side of this side over the quarter windows, goes straight down, and it's like a slash, like the Stanley car from last year. It's just like a slash that goes down this way. And of course, it has these stripes. If you look really close at those, they almost look like guitar strings, super thin, and there is a lot of them in a row. And of course, some more gradients with the red. Got the red stripes right there, going across or underneath the K1 Speed and over to the rear wheel. And the rear quarter panel has those stripes again. And they're almost jagged, but they're straight almost. It's almost like just like stylish stripings to this car. Really nice. So it's a sharp design. The gradient red, I really like the gradient red. It's a cool looking red. And of course, it wraps around the rear quarter windows all the way to the little pillar right there. Quarter panel. Looking sharp with those stripes. Get biofuel right there. And the back is pretty much like the front. It's just a gradient from down. It just goes from down to up to down. But the bottom of it, the lower part of it is all red, and then it just slowly fades into the gradient up to the bumper line. And of course, the splitter's black, and the spoiler is black. What a nice paint scheme, guys. And that's really the paint scheme. Really nice gradient finishes all across. So you just have the matte and the gradient and the bright white and the black showing off that beautiful red gradient wrap. It is just an amazing looking car. Very detailed. There's a lot of great paint schemes from Trackhouse. So they probably have the best Chevy schemes in the field, I want to say. Because Hendrick Motorsports has been up and down with the paint schemes. Trackhouse seems to be consistently putting out paint schemes that are really interesting, and this is definitely one of them. And the Daniel Suarez, or the Ross Chastain, I should be saying, the #1 version of this paint scheme, almost looks like this one. I really don't think that car's changed that much. I'll have to wait for that car to get released, but I know for sure this car ran on the #1. Number 99 is this test car right here, as you can tell. So that means, as far as I can tell, Daniel Suarez never ran this in a points-paying race. And originally, they were supposed to sponsor him for, like, points-paying races in 2021. And that didn't happen. It ended up going to Ross Chastain in the #1. So, yeah, guys. Hopefully, Daniel Suarez, if he hasn't already, will run this in a points-paying race. It's, a lot of races go by, so it's kind of tough to remember all the paint schemes. But this one here was released as a test car, so you guys are going to tell right off the bat when you look at the package, it will not have a driver name. It'll just be Trackhouse. So yeah, guys, if you're a Daniel Suarez fan or a Ross Chastain fan, doesn't matter which one, pick it up, because this is part of Trackhouse, this diecast. Here's the front of the car, here's the hood, it's the right side, here's the back, it's the deck lid, it's the roof, it's the left side, and the chassis. Thank you guys for checking this one out, guys. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next diecast review. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecast.